immediate ban on semi-automatic rifles and high-capacity magazines. And I will get the names of any lawmakers who stand in the way of that happening. And I will invite you to come to my living room and insist that you hold Vivian's hand while we do her dressing changes each night and she cries the entire time. And you can look her in the eye while you cleanse her bullet wounds. And you can tell her to her face why you are opposed to keeping her safe, why a semi-automatic rifle is more valuable than her life. I will end by imploring you to pray for Sophia's recovery, pray as hard as you can. And please, please keep Fletcher and Harper's memory alive. Honor them and remember them for the amazing kids that they are. Not just now while this story is fresh in the headlines, but in the coming weeks and years and decades ahead. Always remember them. Now, more than ever, we need a future filled with hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Malia. Now I want to introduce Samantha Lau. She is the manager of our newborn intensive care unit where Malia works. Malia is one of our colleagues. And Malia is clinical care supervisor there. And Samantha, I just want to say also, you guys are hearing her name for the first time right now, but you already know about Samantha. Last week, Dr. John Gakin mentioned that a nurse accompanied one of our patients in the CT scanner, and that was Sam, who accompanied Vivian. And I just spoke with some of the technologists who worked in the CT area last week when Vivian was being scanned and Sam was with them. And they said that Sam made a difference that day. And we were able to get the scans that we needed to get. And it's not highly unusual for somebody to accompany kids in the scanner when needed if they're afraid. But Sam really made a difference that day with Vivian. So Sam, would you come on up and have something to say?
All right. I just want to start off by saying that the focus of this moment has to remain on the children whose lives were tragically taken, those who are injured, and the families and the community members who are grieving. No words can capture the depth of that loss, the loss of life, of safety, of security, and of normalcy. The story of Vivian and I just happened to be highlighted last week, but there were so many moments like that day. I feel honored to have been with her. Vivi showed so much strength and courage. Staying with her was not bravery, it was instinct. As a mom myself, I'd hope someone would do the same for my child, and I would do it again tomorrow without hesitation. Another example of this amazingness that was here that day is a NICU nurse named Meg. She used to work in the emergency department. When she heard there was a mass casualty that day, she left our unit and went straight to the stateroom to help in any way that she could. No questions asked. She didn't have to put herself in that situation, but she did. She is just another one of the truly amazing people that work here. So many people stepped outside of their comfort zones and did things that were never in their job descriptions. Teachers, staff, healthcare workers, first responders, parents, even students, everyone. Everyone showed courage that day and compassion in impossible circumstances.
Thank you, Sam. And now I want to introduce Rachel Dennett. She is our interim chief nursing officer. She's going to say a couple words.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel Dennett. I'm the interim chief nursing officer here at Hennepin Healthcare. Today you heard some pretty incredible stories. Thank you both for being brave and stepping up and speaking, especially Malia, what you had to say. It's important. And Sam, what you had to say is what we do every day. We take care of people everybody, and even during the most vulnerable times. I couldn't be more proud to work with both of these nurses, as well as all of the other nursing staff and all the other healthcare employees that are here at Hennepin Healthcare. Every single one of these kids is important and has a story and has gone through a lot. I've spent some time with the other directors and other nursing leaders rounding through the units, chatting with some of the family members, and it's been heartbreaking, to say the least. And so what Malia said is 100% to the core. We do need active change, and that's praying, but that's also doing something about that and speaking out. So I want to thank you both for being brave today and doing that. And I want to thank everyone for listening in and being here. So thank you.
Thanks. We're going to open it up for some questions now for Sam. You want to come on up, Sam? Any questions?
Could you just talk about what surgery you have for the patient starting
Sure. So we found out that there was something that had happened. We have a meeting every morning at 8:30 with all the charge nurses, and the house soup received a call during that meeting. And I just remember her on the phone saying 20. She gets off the phone and said that there was a mass casualty and that many victims. There was 20 people. And at that time, we did not know that it was pediatric. We had no idea. So everyone, jumped into action and went to their respective units, which is when I went to the NICU and Meg went down to the stateroom. And then pretty quickly after that, we found out this happened at a church. This was a school. These were kids. And so, yeah, I think at that point, all of us felt a very different sense, in the sense of panic. Shortly after that, Malia called me. She was not working that day, and said it was Vivi's school, and did I know anything? And I didn't at that point. And I told her I would let her know if I did. And then probably not 10 minutes later, she called me and said that Vivi's here. Can you go find her? And so that's just what I did, was go find her. So a lot of thoughts, I guess.
I apologize. Can you talk about the bravery you saw from Vivian while you spent time with her in the hospital?
Yeah, so I had never met her before, but she is a remarkable little girl. She remained so calm and poised, and she was able to talk about her dog and how her dog eats her socks. And she was able to she was just amazing. And really the whole time she was here, she just really showed, she seemed much older than 9 years old.
As a healthcare worker, how do you help children get through a moment like that and process it when you're trying to get through it and process it yourself?
I think that you just kind of, I'll only, I guess, speak for myself. I think in that moment, I just knew the most important thing was her. And I thought about Malia, and I thought, if this was my child, I would want someone to try to make something normal for them. I have no idea what to do. I'm not a PICU nurse. I don't normally do anything like that. So I just talked to her like she was my own kid, and I tried to remember every single thing Malia ever told me about Vivi. And so I started talking to her about hockey and her dogs and a trip. And I think I don't know, I think anybody in a moment like that, you just do anything you can, and you just it's like an out-of-body thing. You focus on what's important, which was her.
Can you retrain for something like this?
No, I don't think so. I think I don't know how to answer that. No, I don't think so.
It was mentioned that Vivian might have bullet fragments that will not be removed. Will those remain?
they will remain.
Staff and children mentioned that they're going through it themselves. How are you all?
Yeah, I think that's a loaded question. I think that everybody who was involved that day, whether they were here or not, I think has their own account of what happened, saw things, heard things. And I think that everybody is supporting each other and doing the best that they can. But I think that right now there's outpouring support for everybody. And I worry about what it's going to look like when things get quiet. But everyone is supporting each other right now the best that we can.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you so much for coming.